Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Yung discussion natin no, for today is magfo-focus na tayo dun sa second half ng engineering mechanics, which is yung dynamics. And yung unang topic po natin no is kinematics of particles. So for the introduction part, so yung engineering mechanics po no, as I said earlier dun sa ating mga naunang lesson, is nahati yan into two topics, which is statics, which is concerned siya no doon sa equilibrium ng body natin na either at rest or nagmo-move in a constant velocity. Then dito naman sa dynamics, ang pag-uusapan natin is accelerated na po ng which deals in accelerated motion of a body. Then kinematics ay define naman po no, it is a relationships are used to help us determine the trajectory of a snowboarder completing a jump, orbital speed of a satellite, and acceleration during acrobatic flying. So si dynamics na hati yan no, uh, into different portions. No? Una is kinematics. Kinematics is the study of geometry of motion. Nire-relate nito yung displacement, velocity, acceleration, and time without reference dun sa cause ng ating motion. Then we have kinetics. Kinetics naman po no, is a study of the relation existing between the forces acting on a body, the mass of the body, and the motion of the body. Kinetics is used to predict the motion caused by the given forces or to determine the forces required to produce a given motion. Vector quantity, as a review, no, is a quantity which is fully described with both magnitude and direction. Again, example natin dito no, for vector quantity is displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, etc. Then, scalar quantity naman po no, are quantity which fully described by magnitude alone. For example, we have distance, mass, time, volume, etc. Then, pag-usapan natin no, kung ano ang sinatawag natin na linear motion. So, linear motion states that when a body moves either in a straight line or along a curved path, then we have ito po ay nag-execute daw ng linear motion. Then, kapag yung body naman po no, moves in a straight line, and linear motion is also called as rectilinear motion, which is madi-discuss further po no, pagdating natin dun sa mga susunod na topic natin. Then, kapag ang body naman natin is move along a curved path, which is 2D or 3D path, ang tawag naman po natin sa motion na yon is curvilinear motion. For example po no dito is Earth revolving around the Sun. Then, before po tayo mag-proceed no doon sa mga in-depth concepts ng kinematics, pag-usapan muna natin as a short review no yung derivatives and antiderivatives natin or integrals. So bakit natin sila kailangan pag-usapan? Kasi po no, may mga formulas tayo na gagamitin which is makakatulong no kung alam natin kung paano tayo kumuha ng derivative and integral ng bagay-bagay. So ang basic rule naman ng derivatives natin no is una, derivative of a constant. Ang derivative of a constant natin no, states lang na any number kahit 1 million, 2 million, 3 billion, or kahit ganong kalaki yung number natin, no? As long as constant siya, kapag dinerive natin siya, ang value niya ay 0, ang magiging derivative niya. Then, for power rule, ito po yung kailangan yung tandaan, no? So, d over dx of the first derivative, yung derivative ng ating x raised to n daw ay equal to n times x raised to n minus 1. Where yung n po natin is yung ating exponent dito, yung original exponent natin. So, nangyayari lang po no is ibababa natin yung exponent natin dito. multiply natin siya no doon sa variable natin. Then ma-minusan natin yung ating exponent. For example, no, para mas maintindihan po natin, meron tayong example dito. Find the derivative of the following. Una, we have y equals 5. Next, we have y is equal to 5x raised to 18. Then we have y is equals to 3x raised to the 4th plus 5x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 112. Doon muna tayo sa ating first example. So, si derivative po, no, minsan, ginagamit natin pag dinul sa kanya ay yung prime. Kudlit po natin, no? So, sabi natin, derivative of a constant, which is 5 is a constant, is equal to 0. Kaya y prime natin is equal to 0. Next naman, we have y is equal to 5x raised to 18. So, ano po mangyayari? Kailangan nating i-multiply yung 18 dun sa 5, then 18 minus 1 para doon sa ating exponent. Kasi yun po yung sinasabi ng ating power rule. So, y prime is equal to 18x times 18 times 5x raised to 18 minus 1. Then, simplifying po, no, 18 times 5 is 90x. And then, 18 minus 1 is 17. So, ito po ay y prime po iyan dapat. So, for the last example, we have y is equals to 3x raised to the 4th plus 5x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 112. So again, no, ang mangyayari po is using power rule. Y prime is equal to, so saan po galing yung 4 natin dito? Yung 4 natin dito sa, nauna, i-multiply natin sa 3x, no, is galing po siya doon sa exponent natin. So we have 4 times 3x raised to 4 minus 1. Then we have 3. Again, exponent po natin ay 3. Binabalang natin siya dito. Times 5x raised to 3 minus 1. Then, we have 2 times 2x raised to 2 minus 1 plus 3x raised to 1 minus 1. Then, minus 0. Ito po na minus 112. Pero again, ito ay pwede natin siyang i-denote as 0 na dahil yan po ay constant. Alam naman natin, derivative of a constant is 0. So, bakit nagkaroon tayo dito ng exponent na 1? Kasi di ba ang exponent na 1, hindi naman natin sinusulat. And, kaya po yan dito, no, kaya yan naging 3x, 1 minus 1. Then, to simplify, y prime natin is equal to 12x cubed plus 15x squared plus 4x plus 3. Then, after po natin pag-usapan si derivative, proceed naman tayo kay integration. So, basic rule of integration po, no, yung power rule natin. So, the integral of x raised to n dx is equal to x plus raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. Where yung c natin daw po, no, yan yung constant natin. And then, dapat yung n natin ay hindi or not equal to negative 1. Meron po tayong special rule na ginagamit, no, kapag ganyan yung naging case. Kaya lang, hindi na natin siya i-cover kasi hindi naman natin siya magagamit, no, dito sa topic natin. Proceed po tayo sa example. So, we have the integral of 5x dx. Then, for second example, we have the integral of 12x cubed plus 15x squared plus 3 dx. Solve muna natin yung number 1. So, we have the integral of 5x dx. So, ang integral ng 5x dx natin, no, para hindi po malito, yung coefficient po, no, ng variable natin, kapag nag-i-integrate tayo, pwede natin siyang ilipat dito sa kabilang side ng integral sign natin. Kaya yun po yung ginawa ko dito. So, nilipat ko yung 5. Then, ano yung exponent ng x natin? Ang exponent ng x natin dito ay 1. Kaya ang nangyari dito, no, yung n natin dito ay 1. Kaya kung makikita nyo po, di ba, ang formula natin is x raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1. So, substitute lang natin. So, x raised to 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1. Then, simplify. So, ang mangyayari po, no, magkakaroon tayo ng denominator na 2. And yung magiging exponent natin dito, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So, ang integral po ng 5x dx is 5 halves x squared plus c. Huwag po natin kakalimutan, no, yung plus c natin palagi. Proceed tayo dun sa next example natin. So, si dx po, no, is distributive siya, no, doon sa distributive po yung dx natin. Kaya kung ang mangyayari po is ganito, distribute natin si dx, then labas lang natin yung ating mga numerical coefficient. So, si 12, inilipat ko sa kabilang side ng integral sign natin. So, 12 integral of x cubed dx plus 15 times the integral of x squared dx. Then, 3 times the integral of dx. Then, apply lang po natin yung power rule of integration. So, we have 12. So, again, yung x po natin dito, exponent natin ay 3. So, kaya yan naging x raised to 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 plus 15 times the integral of x raised to 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1. Then, x raised to 0 plus 1. Kasi di ba any number raised to 0 ay 1 po yan. So, x raised to 0 plus 1 over 0 plus 1. So, we have 12x4, 12 over 4 raised to, times x raised to 4, plus 15x cubed over 3, plus 3 times x over 1. Then, to simplify, so 12 divided by 4 equals 3, 15 divided by 3 equals 5, then 3 over 1 is 3. Therefore, yung final answer po natin is 3x raised to the 4 plus 5x cubed plus 3x plus c. So, after po natin ma-review, no, yung concept ni derivative and integral, proceed na po tayo sa topic natin. So, particle kinetics includes rectilinear motion, which is, nabanggit na natin siya kanina, no? Rectilinear motion includes position, velocity, acceleration of a particle as it moves along a straight line. Then for curvilinear motion, ito po is yung position, velocity, acceleration of a particle as it moves along a curved line in 2 or 3 dimensions. Then for rectilinear motion, we have position, velocity, and acceleration. So, pag sinabi natin rectilinear motion, particle travels along a straight line path defined by the coordinate axis x. So, for example, no, meron po tayo dito, nag-start tayo dito kay point O, papunta tayo kay point P. Yung distance po, no, na na-cover nito from point O to point P is yun yung tinatawag natin na displacement. Then, for position coordinate naman po, position coordinate is defined by positive or negative distance from a fixed point of origin. So, paano tayo magkakaroon ng positive or negative? So, kapag sinabi natin positive distance, again, going right yan. Kapag negative, is going left. Sinusunod lang po natin dito yung ating Cartesian coordinate system. Then, the motion of a particle is known if the position coordinate per particle is known for every value of time t. Then it is may be expressed in a form of a function. So for example, x is equals to 6t minus t raised to 3 or in form of the graph of x versus t. So for example, pinahanap sa atin no, ano daw yung position natin in terms of meter, halimbawa in 2 seconds time. So, 16. Paano natin nakuha yan? So, di ba in 2 seconds time, dito ay 16. Pero, try natin i-substitute dito yung value natin. Kapag yung x daw natin ay 2, so t raised to 2, t squared, so 2 raised, squared is 4. So 6 times 4, ilan yon? 24. Then, ang t cube natin ilan? 2 raised to 2 is 4. Then, multiply ulit natin ng 2 is 8. So 24 minus 8. Therefore, yon ay equals to 16. So, ganun po, no, pwede natin makuha, no, yung position ng yung position po ng particle natin, no, depende rin kung meron tayong given na equation. So, we have distance and displacement. Ano ba yung difference nila? So, distance refers to how far an object travel. This is a scalar quantity. So, for example, no, is the car traveled 35 kilometer. So, pag sinabi naman po nating displacement, no, is ito yung change in position from point A to point B. Directly po. No? For example, dito, pag sinabi nating distance, nag-travel daw si car ng 35 kilometer, 35 kilometers. Pero hindi niya sinabi kung ano yung, paano siya nag-move, no, papunta doon sa next point natin. Pero wherein kay displacement, no, siya po is defined as the change in the position. So for example, nag-travel tayo kay point A papunta kay point B. Kung gusto nating kunin, no, yung displacement nila, kunin lang natin yung difference nung distance natin, yung layo mismo nung point A natin and point B. So displacement of a particle is also a vector quantity, and it should be distinguished from the distance the particle traveled. And again, no, distance is a positive scalar quantity that represents the total length of the path over which the particle travels. So for example, di ba ito po yung path na sinundan nung car natin. Yan yung tinatawag natin na distance. Next sa pag-uusapan natin ay velocity. So si velocity po, no, is a speed in a given direction which we describe speed and direction of the motion. So for example, we have 5 meters per second due east. So ibig sabihin, nagbo-move yung object natin, no, ng 5 meters per second papunta sa east. And ito rin po yung tinatawag natin na first derivative of displacement. Pag sinabi nating first derivative ng displacement, for example, given tayo ng equation na yun daw po yung equation is for the displacement of ano natin. Pag sinabi natin first derivative, ibig sabihin, kapag pinapahanap sa atin si velocity, kailangan nating i-derive yung given na equation natin ng isang beses. Kasi nga po, first derivative of displacement. So, kaya rin kanina, nireview natin yung derivation natin and integration. Pag sinabi nating constant velocity, ang ibig sabihin po nun ay constant yung speed natin and wala tayong change in the direction. If the particle moves through a displacement delta x during the time interval delta t, the average velocity of the particle during the time interval is given by this formula. So pag sinabi nating delta, ang ibig sabihin lang po niyan ay change. So the average velocity is equals to delta x over delta t. Then from the definition of derivative, for example, given tayo ng equation natin na to, ito daw yung nag-illustrate on displacement ng car natin. Pag pinahanap yung velocity, apply natin yung concept ng first derivative. So again, power rule. So 2 times 6 equals 12. 2 minus 1 is 1. Pero hindi tayo nagsusulat na exponent na 1. Remember? Then we have yung 3. Lipat natin dito. So 3t. Then yung exponent natin is n minus 1. So 3 minus 1. Kaya yung velocity natin, yung velocity equation natin, no, pwede natin sabihin na 12t minus 3t squared. Speed po, no, again, is the measure of how fast something moves. Then again, no, scalar quantity ito and specified only ng magnitude. And defined din po ito, no, ng distance covered per unit time. For example, no, ang distance natin is in terms of x and yung time natin is in terms of t. Speed is equal to x over t. Pag sinabi nating average speed or average velocity natin, no, is yung total distance traveled by the particle divided by the elapsed time or yung total time natin. Then again, no, unit speed and velocity is meters per seconds. Kapag ano tayo no, nasa metric, pwede rin kilometer per hour, and so on. Basta po dapat no, yung numerator na unit natin is unit of distance, and yung denominator natin is unit of time. Then ano ang distinguish between instantaneous and average speed? So kapag sinabi nating instantaneous, ibig sabihin no, at that point of time, nasaan yun yung speed nung object natin. And kapag sinabi naman nating average speed, yun naman po no, yung average yung speed natin all throughout sa duration na nag-travel yung ating particle. So ito po no, the speed, instantaneous speed is the speed at any instant is called the instantaneous speed. The speed registered by the automobile speedometer is the instantaneous speed. So ibig sabihin no, at that point in time kapag nakita nyo yung speedometer ng inyong sasakyan is 60 kilometers per hour, at that point in time exactly 60 kilometer per hour yung bilis ng pag-travel ng sasakyan ninyo. For example, ito po no, meron tayo we have a graph no ng velocity, instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity natin. So for example, pinahanap sa atin no, kung ano yung speed nung sasakyan natin at this point. So kung pagdating mo sa point dito, is doon lumabas no kung ano yung speed na nandun sa speedometer mo, pagdating mo sa point na to, yun yung instantaneous speed natin or instantaneous velocity. For us, kapag sinabi nating average, i-add po natin no, lahat ng speed natin no, kung ilang point man yan yung sinukat natin dyan, then i-divide natin yan sa elapsed time natin. Yun yung ating average average speed or average velocity. Then next is pag-usapan natin si acceleration. Acceleration denoted by A is the rate of change in the velocity of a particle, also known as the second derivative of displacement. So ibig sabihin, if given po tayo ng equation for the displacement, para makuha natin si acceleration, kailangan natin siyang i-derive ng dalawa. 2 times. Then, kapag sinabi naman na given tayo ng velocity equation, kapag pinapahanap si acceleration, kailangan natin lang siyang i-derive ng isa. Bakit? Kasi si velocity is first derivative of displacement. It is also known as a vector quantity. Then units po natin is meters per second squared, centimeters per second squared, feet per second squared, or any unit of distance divided by the square ng unit of time natin. Provided the velocity of the particle is known at 2 points, the average acceleration of the particle during the time interval delta t is defined as the change in velocity divided by the change in time. Then, yung change in velocity natin, denoted po yan ng ating final velocity minus initial velocity. Or tandaan po natin, pwede nyo siya ma-encounter as VF and VO yung ating initial quantity. Pag sinabi natin constant acceleration, ibig sabihin po, all throughout doon sa problem natin, iisa yung acceleration natin, hindi nag-vary. So, yung acceleration natin is equal to AC. Then when the accelerating object will change its velocity by the same amount each second, this is referred to as constant acceleration since the velocity is changing by constant amount for each second. So ngayon, no, apply natin siya sa example. If we travel 320 km in 4 hours, what is our average speed? If we drive this average speed for 5 hours, how far will we go? So again, ano yung mga given parameters natin? We have xt or yung total distance na travel natin is 320 km. Yung time elapsed or yung total time na meron tayo or na-consume natin is 4 hours. Ano yung pinapahanap? Yung ating average velocity, then yung ating pag nakuha na natin yung ating average velocity, ano daw po yung distance natin, no? If yung time natin is 5 hours. Correction po, no? Ito ay hours. Then, pwede tayo mag-solve. Again, from the formula, we have the average velocity is equal to x sub t over t. So, we have yung average velocity natin, yung given natin na total distance covered, 320 km divided by 4 hours. So, ang ating average velocity ay 80 km per hour. Then, pinapahanap sa atin yung distance na na-cover natin, no? So, distance natin daw po is equal yan doon sa ating average velocity multiplied by time. So, saan nanggaling ang formula na yan? Dito lang po yan, no? Nanggaling sa formula na yan. Minanipulate lang natin. So, substitute natin yung na-solve natin na average velocity. Then, multiply lang natin nung time na meron tayo. So, x is equals to 80 km per hour multiplied by 5 hours. Cancel yung r natin na matitira na lang sa atin na unit ay kilometer. Therefore, yung total distance covered for 5 hours is 400 kilometers kung magdadrive tayo at the same velocity. Proceed po tayo sa next sample problem natin. If the car moves in a straight line such that for a short time, its velocity is defined by v is equals to 3t squared plus 2t feet per second, where t is in seconds. Determine the position and acceleration when time is equals to 3 seconds and when time is equal to 0 seconds. So given tayo ng ating equation for the velocity. So yung time daw po natin, no, is 0. Yung time at 0 second natin and then yung position natin at 0 second mismo ay at 0 or at the origin. So ano yung pinapahanap sa atin? Pinapahanap sa atin is yung displacement or yung distance and acceleration natin when 3 seconds yung time natin. So para po makuha, no, yung displacement natin, kailangan po, no, is makuha natin yung equation for the displacement. Kaya lang ang given sa atin ay velocity na. Again, ano nga ba si velocity? First derivative of displacement. So para kung si velocity ay derivative ni displacement, para bumalik tayo kay displacement, ang kailangan nating gawin ay i-integrate or kunin natin yung integral nung given natin na equation na ito. Then again, no, ito po yung ating sinusunod na power rule for integration. So if yung v natin is equal to 3t squared plus 2t, then integrate lang natin siya. V is equals to dx over dt is equals to 3t squared plus 2t. Applying, simplify lang natin, no, dx equals v dt. Integrate natin both sides para makuha natin yung equation natin for the displacement. Then kapag nag-integral tayo, So, meron po tayong dalawang time dyan na gagamitin na input. Yung una is yung lower limit natin is kung ano yung given sa atin dito, which is at 0 seconds nagsimula tayo. Then, yung upper limit naman po natin na isa dito is yung maximum natin or yung hinahanap natin, which is yung at 3 seconds. So, kapag in-integrate po natin, no? So, pag in-integrate natin si dx, kapag x equals 0, ano ba integral ng dx natin? Ang integral ng dx natin ay x. So, substitute lang natin, no? So, we have x is equal to So, integral muna natin ito, no? So, integral po nito ng 3t natin is 1/3 times 3t cube plus 1/2 times 2t squared. Then, simplify lang po natin yung equation para makuha natin yung equation natin for the displacement. We have x is equals to t cube plus t squared. Then, substitute natin, no, yung time natin at 3 seconds. So, dito po, no, balikan lang natin. Kapag nag-integrate po kasi tayo dito, di ba? Pag in-integrate natin to, we have ang integral ng dx natin ay x. Pero ano ba ang silbi ni upper limit at lower limit? So, ang silbi po ni upper and lower limit is yan yung mga isa-substitute natin na value dito para makuha natin yung displacement natin. So, when t is equals to 3 seconds, substitute lang natin yung 3 natin dito. We have 3 cubed plus 3 squared. We have x is equal to 27 feet plus 9 feet. So, x is equals to 36 feet. Sir, bakit hindi na natin ginamit yung ating lower limit? Ano ba ang lower limit natin? Ang lower limit natin ay 0 kasi. Then, substitute natin siya dito, no, yung value natin na 0. Di ba any number, 0 raised to any number is equal to 0. Kaya ang ginamit na lang natin na sinubstitute dito is yung time natin at 3 seconds. Proceed po tayo sa next example natin. If the car moves in a straight line such for a short time, velocity is defined at v is equal to 3t squared plus 2t feet per second, where t is in seconds. Determine the position and acceleration when time is equal to 3 seconds. Then, when yung time natin is at 0 second, yung displacement natin is 0. So, again, yung given natin is yung velocity equation. Pinapahanap sa atin is yung displacement and then yung acceleration natin when time is 3 seconds. Ang kaibahan nito doon sa unang example natin is acceleration yung pinapahanap. So, kung acceleration yung pinapahanap natin, alam natin na si acceleration is second derivative of displacement or first derivative of velocity. Given tayo ng ating velocity equation, therefore, pwede lang natin itong i-derive para makuha yung ating acceleration equation, then substitute na lang tayo ng mga value natin. So, ito po yung ating power rule for differentiation. So, A is equal to dv over dt. So, again, sinabi po natin, no, acceleration is first derivative of velocity with respect to time. Is equal to d over dt times 3t squared plus 2t. So, A is equal to, applying the power rule. So, multiply lang natin dito yung ating exponent, then times 3t minus 2 minus, raised to 2 minus 1, plus, exponent natin dito is 1. So, 1 times 2t raised to 1 minus 1. Simplify lang po natin, no? A is equal to 6t plus 2. Then, anong pinapahanap sa atin? Acceleration when time is 3 seconds. Substitute natin yung time natin at 3 seconds. So, A is equals to 6 times 3 plus 2. Then, acceleration natin simplify is equal to 20 feet per second squared. Tandaan lang natin no, yung unit ng acceleration natin no, is laging in terms of distance divided by squared ng unit ng time natin. For our next example, we have a particle moves along a straight line and the motion of the particle is defined by the equation below. X and t are given in meters and second respectively. Determine the velocity and acceleration of the particle at a time of 3 seconds. X of t is equal to 3t raised to 4 minus 2t cubed plus 4t minus 5. So, given po tayo ng equation for our displacement. Then, time po daw po natin ay 3 seconds. Pinapahanap is yung velocity and acceleration. If we remember, velocity is the first derivative of displacement and acceleration is second derivative of displacement or first derivative of velocity. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan natin mag-derive ng dalawang beses, then substitute natin si 3 seconds para makuha po no, yung value na pinapahanap. Unahin na natin si velocity. So, v is equals to dx over dt. So, again, applying power rule. Dito po, ginawa no, 4 times 3 equals 12. Then, t or 4 minus 1 equals 3. Then, yung 3, binaba natin. So, 3 times 2 equals 6. Then, t raised to 3 minus 1, therefore 2. Then, yung 40 po natin, no, ang exponent natin ay 1, binaba. So, kaya naging plus 4. Then, t raised to 1 minus 1 equals 0. Then, ang derivative po ng constant natin ay 0. Then, substitute na po natin yung given na velocity natin. So, our given na time natin dun sa t. So, yung velocity at 3 seconds is equals to 12 times 3 raised to cube, raised to 3, minus 6 times 3 squared plus 4. Then, simplifying, we have velocity at 3 seconds is equal to 324 minus 54 plus 4. So, velocity at 3 seconds is 274 meters per second. Ang nakuha pa lang po natin dyan is yung velocity. So, kunin naman natin yung acceleration. Para makuha si acceleration, is kailangan lang nating i-derive po itong equation na to. Kasi nga po, acceleration is first derivative ng velocity. So, using po no, yung same given natin, so, ito na po, no, ang nangyari lang dito is naging equation of velocity na yung ginamit natin. So, para makuha yung acceleration, kailangan natin siyang i-derive using our power rule. So, derive natin siya. Ano po nangyari? So, 3 times 12 equals 36. Then, we have 3 minus 1 equals 2. Kaya po siya naging dito 36t squared. Then minus 2 times 6 equals 12. Then t squared, t raised to 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. So kaya po siya naging t na lang dito. And again, derivative of a constant is 0. So a is equals to 36t squared minus 12t. Substitute natin yung given natin na time na 3 seconds. So, 36 times 3 raised to 2 minus 12 times 3. Simplify natin. Acceleration at 3 seconds is equals to 324 minus 36. Therefore, acceleration natin is 288 meters per second. And dyan po nag-end no yung discussion natin for the kinetics of particle. Next lesson po natin, pag-uusapan na natin yung rectilinear motion natin.